a JSCNC exclusive special.
In these past weeks, a number of frightening murders have been uncovered all around the globe.
Suicide bombings in Iraq, a Boston medical student, and an influenced South Korean. All these assassins had different motives, different methods, and different targets.
But they all had at least two things in common: the ability to kill another human being and to remain hidden, blending in with normal folks until they turned ordinary people into victims of their crimes.
Suicide bombings have become quite a trend in Iraq in the last few years, but still it has been a very long time since so many people died in a single day. Last Thursday was one of the single deadliest and bloodiest day this year in Iraq, where 87 people died and 120 people were wounded, officials say. In the first case, 28 people died when the suicide bomber exploded in Baghdad in the neighborhood of Clara. The suicide bomber attacked a crowd of national police who were distributing supplies to families who had been driven away from their homes. According to a witness, the bomber was female and the casualties included both police and civilians. The second bombing took place northeast of Baghdad in Imam Wais, about 70 kilometers northeast of the capital Diyala province. The suicide bomber killed at least 55 and injured 67 when they exploded a roadside restaurant. The bomber was targeting Iranian pilgrims, and only 2 of the killed were not Iranian. A similar attack occurred on December 11th last year when 50 people were killed in a restaurant in the neighborhood of Kirkuk. The next day, on Friday, 60 people were killed at a Shiite shrine in Baghdad by 2 female bombers. The 2 bombers struck bombs on the street leading up to the Imam Musa al-Kadhim shrine, one of the holiest Shiite shrines. The same day, a truck bomber killed 7 when targeting a car dealership in the Diyala province. The top U.S. commander in Iraq, General Raymond Odierno, says, "This spike in suicide attacks that we've seen over the last couple of days, frankly, is another tragic event caused by the Al-Qaeda and their links. They're killing many innocent people. They're killing women, they're killing pilgrims going to pray, and they're killing homeless."
Moving on to South Korea. A South Korean man has been sentenced to death over the murder of 10 people. South Korea has a death penalty, but has carried out no executions for more than a decade. Kang Ho-soon was convicted of kidnapping and killing 8 women between 2006 and 2008, and of burning his wife and mother-in-law to death in 2005. Kang, who is 38 years old, was arrested in January over the murder of a female college student and later confessed to killing and secretly burning 7 other women. He lured 7 women to his house, raped, then murdered by cutting their bodies into pieces. Then he had buried the dead bodies in his backyard. Kang was accused of starting a fire at his house in Ansan, south of Seoul, in 2005, which claimed the lives of his wife and mother-in-law in order to get life insurance money. He won around $700,000 with the insurances he has signed, including the life insurance and the fire insurance. He denied the charges, saying that the fire had been accidental and that he had barely escaped. However, the court in Ansan found Kang guilty of all charges. His other victims included office workers, karaoke bar workers, and university students. Prosecutors said he had confessed to those killings.
정말 말이 안 되네요. 그 사람은 차를 타고 다녀도 항상 500만 원씩 들고 다녔고요. 말이 안 되지만 그 사람은 정말 매너 있고 성실하고 돈도 많고 겉보기에도 정말 잘생겼고, 처음에 그 사람 이름을 들었을 때 제 친구가 아니라 동명이인인 줄 알았는데 제 친구인 걸 듣고 너무너무 깜짝 놀랐어요. 그 사람이 그럴 줄 몰랐네요. 아니, 그 사람은 차도 되게 좋은 차 다니고 평소에도 엄청 좋은 차랑 적어도 500만 원씩은 들고 다녔고요. 되게 부자고 주변 사람들이 다 좋아하는 사람이었어요. 잘 모르겠어요. 저는 그 사람이 그럴 줄 몰랐거든요. 아니, 강호순이라는 사람이 되게 매너 있고 그런 사람인 줄 알았는데 정말 꿈에도 있을 수 없는 일이죠. 정말 믿을 수가 없네요.
Moving on to Boston, Massachusetts. On the one hand, we have Philip Markoff, a smart, clean-cut 23-year-old student at the Boston University. But on the other hand, we have a possibly compulsive gambler who is charged of armed robbery, kidnapping, and murder who targeted women at the popular website Craigslist. Here's my interview with JSCNC's medical correspondent Joanne. Joanne, what exactly is Markov accused of? Well, at the moment, he's being held without bail on a murder charge. It's believed that he is guilty of binding and robbing a Las Vegas call girl on the 10th of April and the 14th April armed robbery, kidnapping, and eventual murder of Jalissa Brisman. It is also thought that he is guilty of attacking a prostitute in Rhode Island on the 16th of April. All of these women offered erotic services. Joanne, is there a kind of connection between them? Why did he target them specifically? Well, he didn't sexually assault any of them, which is unusual considering the circumstances, but he did keep panties from 2 of the victims as a keepsake. Currently, Boston investigators suspect the robberies occurred because he is in a student loan debt of $130,000, and he's also allegedly a compulsive gambler. And this all might have been contributed to his grave financial situation. This week, Markov's fiancée stated in an email to ABC's Good Morning America that he is a beautiful person inside and out, and he would not hurt a fly. Others who knew him are generally astonished about his revelation, such as Michael Bernard, who said he was smart, he carried himself well, he seemed like the type who would have it all. It doesn't make sense. Joanne, if he is really guilty of the crimes that he's accused of, how could he have fooled so many? Well, a lot of people think that his fiancée is blind to not have noticed any of this, but there are strong indications that he was a sociopath, otherwise known as a psychopath. And these people basically, they don't feel any guilt, they have very little self-restraint, and they have criminal wishes. They are gratified by violent and criminal actions. They don't really have a conscience, and they don't learn from past mistakes. They are pathological liars. Usually they don't murder, thankfully, but scientists believe that about 1% of the general population is psychopathic. Thanks for your input. This is a really interesting subject that more people ought to be aware of.